It's gorgeous outside, I've seen your gift, weeping willow. Don't have to weep no more, I notice less of your seeds at the sanity store. Suicide in your nets, like kill yourself in your own time. But who's barking up the wrong tree with weak ass roots and leaves? And grounded in infamy, grounded in symphonies, grounded in infamy, grounded in tragedy. It's gorgeous outside, I've seen your gift, weeping willow. Don't have to weep no more, I notice less of your seeds at the sanity store. Suicide in your necks, like kill yourself in your own time. But who's barking up the wrong tree with weak ass roots and leaves? And grounded in infamy, grounded in symphonies, grounded in infamy, grounded in tragedy. Rust on liquor, strap a soul in concrete, leaving it almost helpless. But without the hard work of man, where would we be? In deactivation perhaps, seething at anything within the vastly unknown, or some sort of an abyss. To live comfortably, man has to kill at some point. 70 years to live, arguably even more. With these years one must feel love, disgust, hate, and inquisitiveness enough to conquer and colonize, with or without just a bow and arrow, or a single thought of world domination and a collective thought about home ownership. So the sweet music of external and internal war parties brings on, creating symphonies of delusions and grandeur and whatever else. If a branch falls, its rise in the next life might be connected to an inanimate shell within a shell of itself. It's gorgeous outside, I've seen your gift, weeping willow. Don't have to weep no more, I notice less of your seeds at the sanity store. Suicide in your nets, like kill yourself in your own time. But who's barking up the wrong tree with weak ass roots and leaves? And grounded in infamy, grounded in symphonies, grounded in infamy, grounded in tragedy. It's gorgeous outside, I've seen your gift, weeping willow. Don't have to weep no more, I notice less of your seeds at the sanity store. Suicide in your necks, like kill yourself in your own time. But who's barking up the wrong tree with weak ass roots and leaves? And grounded in infamy, grounded in symphonies, grounded in infamy, grounded in tragedy. Sunken places, different faces, lame transitions, pseudo-acceptance, hip-hop antics, black lives losing, sexualized children, cosplay big events, atheists boasting, delusions of grandeur, controlling parents, sinister beatings, masked up feelings, ridiculous dealings, sluts who shame sluts, jail for the mindless, mental illness, cruising with shit brains, the dream of America, selling bricks of one's pain, drinking and driving, flying and sleeping, shrinks with pseudo-shrinks, kissing stupidity, red killing blue pill and blue killing red pill, wannabe stoics with online robots, time travel for dummies, pro-present for cowards, war hawking, greatness, victimless, snipe range, the hermit lifestyle, condescending night owls, Flicking channels away from his panoramic, a static shook him up into a zone of fiber optics. There's ash on him, crusty motherfucker in focus, scrolling in his own way, looking for the class of the classic classes. His higher-ups did not give him a pass to be distracted, and so there's risk when it comes to living like this. He places himself in a room and sat next to an odor of bliss, wishful thinking as the surrounding channels collect an aggregation of snowstorms. He looked at the aroma as it dripped, a norm with abnormality, seemingly torn between the fabric of time and the absurd. She reminded him of one of his favorite childhood bird foods. The way she flicked her hair always lit up his interpretation of the room. Nervousness held him tight as days turned into expired prunes. He wishes for a date as raisins grow on his face. What a swoon of a moment covered in bold colors. In the class bathroom, he then cuts off one testicle to toughen up to greet her. And in the garbage went his softer side of his treasure. He chose not to moisturize, so she can supply him with lotion. He asked for some to start a conversation as she lathered her legs after physical education. She says yes while squeezing her boyfriend's semen into the hands of the man now named Seedless. Shocked, Seedless throws himself into a channel that's soulless. First hour of 29, on my way to Stanley Marketplace for a haircut. Simeon is the barbershop of choice, and this is my first time heading for a haircut in Denver, Colorado. What I now feel like reminds me of a car of seasickness, but I don't feel like vomiting or squeezing my wrists in absolute panic. My head feels warm and my chest is like a large scalding marshmallow while my stomach feels like a balloon of nails. I don't feel my legs, but I feel the hair on my legs. Little worms, centipedes, or caterpillars. I feel my feet, they're very present, especially my left foot. My big toe's closest friend feels like it's growing to burst as it leans over in a hooking motion. I see squared images around my fiancé, the designated driver. It's getting awfully close to closing time as my chair begins to slip in and out of holding me as a passenger. So I call the barbershop to check if there's an available seat for me. There is, according to the woman who answers my call and inquiry. Fucking hipsters, Boone says to us in frustration while searching for a spot before my feet hit the sidewalk and 45-degree weather starts to feel like -20. I see her crying, driving, then crying again. So I ask her what's wrong, but she isn't crying at all. I realize her sobbing is a hallucination. She drops me off and continues to look for parking. I walk up to the second floor, enter the barbershop, and two white women are standing around in preparation to leave after what was probably a long day of work. I introduce myself and inquire about a haircut. One of them, the red-haired one whose name slips my mind, says she's available to cut me. I sit in her chair and look at her workstation while waiting for her to start. She asks me what I want, and I show her a photo of myself wearing a Bosch hoodie with the hood not covering my head. She says okay, smiles and proceeds to small talk while giving me what is possibly the most surreal haircut of my young adult life. My head grows in heat and shakes intensely as my reflection changes in appearance over and over again. I can feel how fairly new the performance of Shaver/Razor is. My hairline now looks like Yolandi Visser's hairline a bit. Like an amateur, she asks her coworker if the line is straight as I'm smiling and holding her tip. I tell her it's fine, I did not lie. I pay her and leave and stumble around as my girlfriend holds on to me affably. I don't fall because of my hook. I now have 6 toes on my left foot. Second hour of 29. The missus and I are at the original Chubby's waiting for our order to arrive. The song Take On Me plays on loop in my head for some random reason. Ironic that I have the munchies after eating such a large edible. Torched crevices as elephants run, engulfed cleavages as breasts fall flat to the ground. To the sun with guns ran Rapunzel's. How awful is the feeling to be burnt by your mother? Winter calls for cuddles, so the hit and run bus is prepped for cold weather. Over and over, speed bumps are turned into flat lump pancakes as fire sets on the landscape. From her high horse she nagged her. From her high horse she mangled her. From her high horse she toyed with her. Dead lady, ugly. From her high horse she kissed her. From her high horse she raped her. From her high horse she killed her. Feminazi is the patriarchy. She's covered in cameramen as the press pushed her buttons wanting to hear her snap. The lens of a desperate man fogged up while his wife looked through her sniper scope with the vision of an average duck. Pictures are taken as quick as a bullet is fired from the wife's weapon to kill younger and better versions of herself. From her high horse she nagged her. From her high horse she mangled her. From her high horse she toyed with her. Dead lady, ugly. From her high horse she kissed her. From her high horse she raped her. From her high horse she killed her. Feminazi is the patriarchy. Some of us say those of us who are neutral are vague cowards who are too afraid to take a side, but I disagree. I would argue that those of us who are primarily neutral in response to so many human issues or ideas are to some degree the real individuals, and tend to be the bravest and the smartest of the human species. When you say and actually rep I'm neutral, you enter a world where everyone from the religious to atheist to self-proclaimed revolutionary freedom fighter to their opposition hates you for such a position. And clearly with that occurrence in nature, a large target is placed on your back. But your position isn't an embrace of the victim role, it's actually an embrace of not being the victim. I'm very aware of what separates reality from fiction, but the notion that fiction cannot exist within reality or reality cannot exist within fiction is stupidity. Everyone who's a moron tends to wear a mask beautifully, and these morons depict themselves as just having fun with their lunacy they're clearly unaware of. Some of these are the people who support or cosplay as a sexualized adolescent, yet they protest the nature of the sexually inactive pedophile they should probably be castrated next to. To be against the manifested actions of bloodshed, rape, or whatever else, in reality while praising or cheering for them in fiction, is asinine simply because committing any crime in your mind while protesting those exact crimes in real life is hypocrisy. It shouldn't take being fairy dusted to realize one's morality transcends reality. If it's not the most poisonous thing in our world, hypocrisy is definitely one of the most poisonous things in our world. Its hold on civilians and civilizations everywhere has been something to marvel at, but at the same time, with maybe being amused, it's also something to be disgusted in response to. I suppose it makes sense for those of us who are so obsessed with being the devil's advocate to be deemed as hypocritical. It's factual. To be against something just for a rush or a thrill often leads one down a path of going against one's own moral code for cool points, or or simply in a direction where one romanticizes the transgressions of man to the brink of some sort of deluded self-worth and misunderstanding of surrealist art. I love transgressive as much as I love the norms of my era, and I'm not obsessed with either. You're barking up the wrong tree, translated in glee by something that looked at us while deeming our future as green. We howled, we howled, we howled, we howled. It targeted Moors across this ocean, craving to create. Doors flung open, and in the process, lost their paint. The color flew across the land at the speed of dark, spreading to man, to woman, to gender confused. The muse looked at our future, thinking about sweeping it away. With a broom in hand, she played long enough to have a permanent stay. Casino boss 1, 2, and 3 didn't want any drama as blood poured onto the tables. So we looked harder and longer at it, thinking of a label. And in the process, we may create a new color for the portals. Stagnant at the corner of berries, this forest is inclined to welcome anyone with a cherry to pop. I grow my own, and of course, those with crops last long enough, or perhaps until there's a taste of the sweet stuff. Blue baby, cemented with dead feet. Alive ladies drop them off to feel less bereaved. Now a scavenger hunt, manifest with blunts. Each smoke session freed her mind right into the rhyme of a perpetual bum. So what's next? I feel attached to everything with a half step. Deformities cruising through life. I take a deep breath to expand on my sight. Long-term vision with canned worms on a mission. I won't flee the objective, my mind is the weapon. So I'm here on a stone wall, I glitch. With each flinch, I muster up a shield fit for a king. My diamonds glisten as I walk by kids, they make collective wishes. I drop gems on my walk through the valley of beasts. Each blue baby greeted me with an Achilles heel of a speech. This is the day you were planning for. The day you thought would never happen. What you want out of life is familiar. You want a rom-com tragedy as a filler. Being deemed as worthless by who you deem as worthy. It's sorta sad when acceptance comes your way only when it seems like you're self-loathing.
du genre de « nous sommes tous des grains de sable dans l'univers » ne m'ont jamais dérangé. Il y a une nette différence de degré dont je suis très conscient ici. Grosse planète, grand homme, petit homme.
As a man, you meet someone, she's great, the connection is great. She wants to make a baby with you during a complicated moment because she thinks doing so will ultimately make things better. You don't want a child at this moment, but you fold and compromise yourself to some degree because of sappy love, melancholy. The baby is born, it's growing. You're more mentally there than physically there. Your significant other doesn't like that. She hates it, in fact. She tells you things like making a baby is all physical, until there is a world where you can think a baby into existence. Just being there mentally for it isn't good enough. She breaks up with you, and to spite you, she purposely chooses to get into a relationship with a shittier guy. And years later, your child is molested or abused by a so-called father figure you and your child don't even know. As the mother, your ex, says it's all your fault for such a horrible thing happening. You snap and kill the guy, the mother testifies against you in court, you end up doing hard time, the child is now a young adult, self-loather, who hates their mother more so than they hate you because they see their molester in themselves more so than anyone else. Worland, focus, you're lost in translation. Roaming, loss of service, identity glitch. Your mind is at a bridge of a river in Tarpons. Mrs. Worland, focus, you're lost in translation. Roaming, loss of service, identity glitch. Your mind is at a bridge of a river in Tarpons. Wild horses running through the minds of a split town. Through and through, glow for glow, it's transparent paranoia. Chaotic yellow rain is the mask of their thunder. The sugar burns for the seemingly eternal, internal. Harsh winds as each extrovert tries to channel perfection. And this is all hidden within a nation. Mrs. Worland, focus, you're lost in translation. Roaming, loss of service, identity glitch. Your mind is at a bridge of a river in Tarpons. Mrs. Worland, focus, you're lost in translation. Roaming, loss of service, identity glitch. Your mind is at a bridge of a river in Tarpons. Twisters manifest at the brink of a kick. The drum kicks again with a spin and a spit. New arrival near the set of the sun. The neighbor wanted to welcome, give them a gun. We're all targeting during a war of so-called maggots. Throw a house far and you'll probably live to own it. Natural disaster waiting to kick. The birth of this realm is waiting for Mrs. Worland, focus, you're lost in translation. Roaming, loss of surface, identity glitch. Your mind is at a bridge of a river in Tarpons. Mrs. Worland focus, you're lost in translation. Roaming, loss of surface,